Friends, I'm back with another machine on the Vulnhub, which is Gemini 1. The link will be added into the description section below so that you can download and play this machine if you want. In my opinion, this machine is not so easy, which involves some vulnerabilities. For example, like local file inclusion vulnerability. For example, like server-side request forgery vulnerability. Yeah, I just like to talk it again. Hands-on practice is so important to learn. For example, if you possibly you have heard the concept of the SSRF or server-side request forgery. However, you do not know exactly what it means and how to discover such vulnerability, how to exploit this vulnerability. So again, please follow my channel and do the machines as many as possible to make us, the stronger in the pen testing industry. So enough said, let's just get started. We can switch into the VMware Kali Linux VM, of course. To do this machine, we need to import the image into the VMware. Then, what we are going to do next, sorry, I need to zoom in the terminal so you can see clearly. The first is that we need to discover the IP address of a target. Usually, I will use the net discover. However, the net discover will not succeed discovering the IP address of any machine in this case. So alternatively, I'd like to use a map with SN option, which stands for host discovery, to do this job. Kindly remind you this video will be going a bit a long time, so please be patient and bear with me. As you can see, the IP address of the target could be identified as 152. And what do we have to do next? We need to do the port scanning with a map. To save time, I've already done that earlier, so for now we just get out the result of a map scanning. As you can see over here, as usual, I use the options like scene scan, the version scan, the default script scan, followed by the -p- to do the comprehensive scan, and then uppercase PN not to do the live testing with the target. And the last option of all is ON to output the result into this file. The IP address has been changed a bit. So from the map scanning, we can tell that the target has two open ports. The first one is 22, which is running SSH surface or secure shell surface, and its version number. As we know, this version doesn't have any vulnerability. And the second one or final one is 80, which is running HTTP surface, and also the version information, which is Apache 2. And also we got some other information under this directory. Under the root directory of the site has directory test2. Later we can use browser to take a look at it. Okay, so now what are we going to do next? We need to do enumeration both manually and automatically with the HTTP surface. Let's launch our browser to do the manual enumeration first. First of all, I'd like to clear the history to make sure our testing will not be affected by the history data. Okay, now we can access the target by the browser. We can put the IP address of the target into the address bar. As you can see, there is one directory, test2, and then we can put at the end Yeah, welcome guest. As you can see over here, here's some introduction about this application or this site. This is an internal web application designed for employees to view their profile details and also allow them to export their details to PDF. I think such a feature, I mean the PDF exporting, is very popular in many applications nowadays. I mean in the real web application. And so I think this machine will be having a lot to do with the PDF. And this web application is built and modified from the following open source project. Yeah, this one, master. So we can, we can open up in new tab to access this repository. And we can close down this repository to the Kali Linux. We can use git clone and followed by the URL. We can press enter. Okay, it's done. Now we go back. We need to do something else to emulate this web application manually. For example, we can check the source code. Nothing there. Nothing there. And also we can check whether this site has robots file. Not found, which is fine. And next we can use Nicto to do the automatic emulation. Yeah, Nicto, I always use Nicto to do or to start the automatic emulation because these two can give us rich information. For example, like the verse information and also the header information, and even sometimes give us the exploits if the application has, and also the common files or directories. Although it's built in with the list, it's a bit small compared to other much more professional word list or bigger word list. As you can see, the Nicto discovered some directories like CSS, image, lib, and also give us the login, admin login page section found. I don't think we can find anything important from the CSS, image, lib directly. So now we can go to the, here at the top you can notice, there is hyperlink. We can click and we are prompted by this user login panel. We can use the admin as username and the password, and also is admin to try sign in, run, and then we can use the login bypass technique, right? Password to try again, failed. All right, so next we can use GoBuster to do the directory emulation, and we can put the IP address of the target and test2, and we can use option of W to specify the word list to scan or to emulate. GoBuster directory extension option PHP file HTML text back. GoBuster can immediately discover some files like login. Of course, we have already know that profile. We can look at this file manually. Profile PHP. However, its user doesn't exist. So I think this file require us or require user to be authenticated first to access. Now we go back and the footer, header, user. I don't want to go through all of them. However, I don't think we can find anything important. So now each time, maybe we can use the Hydra to crack. Before we do that, from the message left by the author, this web application is built and modified from the open source project. So maybe we can find credentials from the source code of this application, right? Which we just now got or download from the GitHub. So how to do? We can use grep and use option of -r. It means that we need to do the recursive looking up, okay? And use I option to ignore case. So if the word is uppercase, this will not affect our lookup, okay? Password. Press enter. As you can see at the bottom, you can notice that we can find the username and its password. Very simple password. So if you do not take this way to get the password, you also can use Hydra to crack it. Okay, so now we can go back to the login panel, admin 1 2 3 4 sign in. Yeah, correct. Yeah, very simple admin panel. And here at the top we can see any function. The different function is profile, and we can go to the, we need to go through the major function of this application. We can edit a profile and also can export a profile. Because just now I mentioned from the message left by the author, this machine has a lot to do with the PDF exporting feature. So before we try to find the vector, we need to make a walkthrough and to see what this feature is about, how this feature works, okay? And then we can try to find the entry or vector to exploit into. So edit the profile. Here we can give some information. For example, we can change display name like JSON1. We can save. Because I configure the network as host only for the target, so this step will take a bit long time. Sorry about that, because this way or this network setting is safe. I strongly recommend you do this way to set up your lab. Okay, I think information was saved. We come back to this machine, and now we can go to the export profile function, and I think the profile can be exported maybe to the PDF. Okay. Yeah, it's exporting. I don't like to pause the video right now. It's almost done. So I think this video, will be wasting your time a bit. As you can see, we got this PDF document, and even this information, I think the name is the display name can be printed out. So I think this is the possible entry for us to exploit into. And however, we need to find what's running behind. I mean, which kind of software is running at the target or at the server. We can download this file to our Kali Linux. And sometimes metadata of the file can display some important information. To print out the metadata of this file, we can use exif2 and profile followed by the name of the I need to download. Oh, sorry, I need to navigate to our working directory, Gemini, and save. No problem. Now we can use exif2 profile. If you have already followed my channel, you know that very well. I used the exif2 utility for many times to display the metadata of a picture. However, this tool can also support the PDF document. So we just press enter. Its metadata can be printed out. And as you can see, the creator, we can get the information about the software, even its version number. So we can copy this information and use Google to make some research. And the Google will give us this link. And this link tells us this software has vulnerability, the file inclusion vulnerability. As you can see over here, this software is widely used open source PDF and image rendering utility. When used improperly, this utility can introduce high-risk security vulnerabilities. And because this software contains HTML content on the server side, it's high-risk target for both server-side request forgery I mentioned at the very beginning and the local file inclusion vulnerabilities. If a malicious user can control HTML content which is rendered by the utility, which is running on the server or at the target, they may be able to include local and remote files in the content. So next we need to find the entry to control or manipulate the HTML content. Do you remember? Just now I have already found that one, the display name field, because this field, first of all, this allow us to input something. And another important point is that this data, what we input, can be displayed in the document, in the PDF document. Okay, let me show you what I mean. Okay, so how to do? We can copy the POC to test the local file inclusion vulnerability first. We can copy and we can put in the notebook. I think, this one, I need to add this symbol. Make sure we need to include the iframe element or tag. I think this is also very popular tag, HTML tag, which you can embed the frame into the web page. Okay, so the height, of course, we can make it bigger. So make sure all data of the file can be displayed without a problem. Okay, and we can modify the width, for example, to 800. I think it's enough. So now we can copy this manipulated payload or iframe payload, and we can access the home page of this application again, and we can go to the edit profile section, and we can modify this one and save. To see whether we can successfully retrieve password file of the target. If we failed, and then we can try to test if the target has the remote file inclusion vulnerability. You can see also determines if remote files can be reached. Okay, so as pen tester, we just try many things. Information was saved, and then we can go to the export profile. Also, we have already found that this file was not found on this server, which is fine. Okay, so now we go back. Yeah, here. So next we need to test whether we can access remote file. How to test? We can create the simple file, for example, like a JSON, and then we need to set up the web server by Python, and we need to modify this payload, and we can here HTTP IP address of the Kali Linux test.txt. We can copy and go back. Yeah, it's loading. Just give it a bit more time. Okay, as you can see, nothing found. So we can go back to the edit profile section and go to the edit profile. We can put or modify this payload, and we can put it in here. Make sure our web server is running without a problem. Okay, it's fine. Then we can save. Yeah, we need to repeat these steps over and over again to find the vector to exploit. Hopefully you will not feel boring. And now we can go to the edit export profile to see whether we can access this file. Okay, and print it out in the PDF document. And make sure I have already created this payload without problem. I think it's correct. We must be very careful. iframe source. iframe to include. No problem. There. Okay. However, nothing there. Interesting, right? Interesting. Was not found on this server. On this server, test.txt. Interesting. It's not there. So maybe I need to use the PHP to set up this web server rather than Python. Let's go back to the edit profile again. Now we can go to profile, edit profile, And then we need to test again. Save. Hopefully this time we can get what we want. Okay, and we can go to the export profile section to export. So the address is correct. So what's wrong? No, I did the machine the first time. It did work. No problem there. Interesting. It doesn't seem working. Very weird. What's wrong? What's wrong? Nothing there. Interesting. So why access this address? Really weird. Maybe double quotes has some problem. All right, I need to run it again. Very weird. No. Save. I need to go back to this site. Yeah, no problem. Iframe. So what's the problem? And we go to the... Okay, as you can see, this time the content can be printed out without problem. I think the major problem is that maybe this double quotes has a problem. I need to use the native double quotes of the Linux. Oh, it took me so long time. Sorry about that. So if you're from, you're used not, you're from other countries and your native language is not English, maybe you also will face such issue. Okay, very very important. Sorry about that. Now we can go on. I think now it's working because as you can see, yeah, the data can be printed out without any problem. Okay, so exciting. Yeah, so exciting. Yeah, I'd like to see. So as a pen tester, when I did this machine the first time, I didn't have such a similar issue. Very exciting. Yeah, very exciting. I'd like to say, yeah. And sorry, of course, we need to use the PHP to set up this web server because, you know, this is the SSRF exploit, which means that the request would be sent from the target or the server. And so the file would be, if we use the Python to set up the web server, and we can generate a PHP file, the malicious PHP file, and this file would be executed as simple file because the Python cannot understand PHP language. You know what I mean, right? So instead we need to use PHP, okay, to set up the web server, and this engine can understand PHP file. And another point I like to tell you, we do not want to access the file on the kernel Linux. We want to access the file on the target. So we need to redirect the request. So the function which can help us to do is the header. Okay, let me show you. I need to go back to the browser. As you can see, the PDF has a JSON, the comma, hello. So now how to do next? We can open up another tab and go to our working directory. And we need to, of course, I've already set up or created this, the PHP file. This file just, this very simple file. And only one function, header. The header will tell the target, I've already got your request. However, please be redirected to this location. And this location is, is locally, on the target, and want to access a specific file, like the password file, okay? So now, how to do? We can, we just change, we can copy and put in here. We can exp PHP, and we need to pass or give the parameter. The parameter is URL, and we need to want to access password file first, and then we can copy, and we can go to the edit profile. So this time I think we will be no issue. Okay, so now we can edit, and we can replace, and we can save. Okay, I will not edit or delete the part, just now I waste a bit long time, because maybe this is the problem which you will encounter possibly. Okay, and now we can go to the export profile. Hopefully we can retrieve the content of a password file. Hopefully, yeah. So I like pen testing very, very much, because it's full of challenges and the difficulties we need to bypass. We need to get across. Like playing games, right? People always like playing games. This is some sort of a game. And because this is the virtual environment, and will be very safe. If you try to penetrate into the real application, this will be illegal. I think it's almost done. We need to give it a bit of time. Okay, as you can see, we successfully retrieved the content of a partial file. Wonderful. And we can know that the target has this normal user. We can copy this username and paste in the notebook. And now after we can know that we can access file on the target. So next objective or target would be private key as usual, right? So how to do? We need to go back and we need to copy and change or modify the file name or the path. Should be home, the name, username, and SSH, private key. I think you have already done a lot of CTF machines. You know where the private key is located. Okay, so now we can copy this malicious iframe payload and go to my profile and edit profile. We need to remove this one first and paste in here and make sure we have already done it correctly. Let's save. I wish you are still being with me, although it's taking a very long time. It's saved, and we need to go to the export profile. I hope you can enjoy my videos. I hope you can get some benefits, maybe a bit. So I think with this machine, we can get a better understanding of SSRF vulnerability or server-side request forgery. Forge the request from the server, try to, access sensitive file on the target. Again, hands-on practice is so great. By this means, we can learn a lot and can improve enormously, I think. If we just read a book, you cannot get actual meaning and don't know how to do in the real engagement. As you can see, we got back the private key and we can copy the entire data and we can create it in on the Kali Linux, and we can paste in here. In order to use this private key, we need to change privilege or permission, and then we can SSH to the target. I can zoom in the terminal so the font would be bigger. You can see what's going on. And we can, yes, as you can see, we are successfully logged in as user Gemini 1. And we can do some local emulation. We can get out the bash history. Maybe I can, we can upload the Nimpier shell script to do the local emulation automatically. The web server has already set up. And as you can see, the Nimpier shell script is already here. Next, we can upload this script to the target, the web server. I think it's running, right? And so now we can go back to the terminal, to the shells. We can use wget name pairs. It's done. We need to make it executable. And then we can run this shell script. If we want to escalate our privilege, I think name pair shell script is very powerful for us. Can help us to do the automatic enumeration with a very efficient way. If we just manually enumerate the machine, we will miss many important information. It's done, and we can scroll back to see whether we can find some vectors, for example, like some comma files or sensitive files, capabilities, and also SUID. This one I think I can notice because this one is highlighted, and also this unknown SUID binary. We can copy this absolute path and put on my book, so we can check the permission settings with this file. As you can see, this file or utility has SUID bit on. So I think we can utilize this utility to elevate a privilege. However, because this one is not standard utility or default utility on the Kali Linux, and we need to run this utility to see what it's about. As you can see, it's displaying some information. I think on the background, or this binary is executing some Linux command, displaying listening port number, the displaying SSH listening port number, also current date. So we need to get the readable characters of this file to see whether we can manipulate some commands inside this binary or executable. If the command is not in the form of absolute path, then we can utilize this point to elevate. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so we can use strings bin list. Yeah, we can scroll up. As you can see, this binary executes this command date to display the data information of the target. So how to do? We can create our own date utility or command. For example, echo bin shell date, and we need to make it executable date. And then we can, of course, we need to change the environmental path variable, path temp. So when the command or this utility list info is executed, and we'll look for, when go to this or run commands until this date command, and this date command will execute it from the location which we define in this path variable. Okay, I think it's clear because I've already demonstrated this technique for many times. So now we can run this utility again, list info, and I think we can run the ID. As you can see, now we are the root user, so then we can navigate to root directory. We can get out the flag without any problem. So that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you in the next one. Bye. Have a nice day.